Yo, what is going on, my boy, Mr. Game Archer here with a brand new video for you guys today. And so this video is taking part after the previous video that we did. I know we're further pushing back the Power Rangers Battle of the Grid review, but after I did the video before this video, which I'll have attached at the end of this video, obviously, we did a video that reviewed the entire first season of the Netflix Resident Evil TV series. And in that video, I mentioned that I didn't see Welcome to Raccoon City. So after I made that video, I decided just go ahead and watch Welcome to Raccoon City. So this video, kind of the same thing, no script. Just want to talk about how I feel about the movie. This is a movie this time. It's not a TV show. So you know, you watch it in one sitting. About how long it is. It seemed longer than it actually was because the pacing for it is kind of, it's not bad, but it seems so slow to where the movie feels longer than it actually is. And that's probably because I was bored. I was bored watching this movie. And like what I put on Twitter after seeing it was, this is a good example of why a movie should not be based off like a video game. Like, not, you shouldn't have video game movies, but shouldn't be based off the actual lore and storytelling of a video game, because I already know the story, I already know the lore, so I know how everything's playing out. And Welcome to Raccoon City basically is a copy of Resident Evil 2, but with, you know, Jill thrown into it as well, and Wesker thrown into it as well. Like, they throw in Resident Evil 3 and other Resident Evil characters into it, like Lisa Travers. But just basically the Resident Evil 2 storyline, based for the most part. So you play Resident Evil 2's remake that's, you know, came out recently, well, like a couple years ago. That story is this game, not this game, this movie. So it tells that exact same story. And I said in my pre video, I've played Resident Evil 2 remake like at least 6 times, if not more than 6 times. So I know at the back of my hand. So I was bored. So I'm like, oh, I know how all this plays out, and this is why I don't want, you know, these other cinematic, you know, ventures to copy the game, because I want new story. I want a new experience. I want to experience things that uses the title of the games that I love, but give me something new to dive into, new to enjoy, new to fall in love with. You know, and the thing like about the Netflix series is a new story. It's not something that I already know. It's not something I'm used to. It's not something that I can just pick apart because I know the lore of the franchise. It's something new and different. And yeah, the first episodes of that series is trash, but the following 6 are really good and very promising. So this isn't about the video. No, this is about Welcome to Raccoon City. So let's talk about some of the acting choices when it comes to this movie. They had Robbie Amell. He played Chris Redfield, which honestly, I thought Chris was kind of forgettable. I feel like if you didn't know it was Chris Redfield, you wouldn't even notice it was Chris Redfield. He's like he was just any other cop within a movie. Like, this isn't a shot at Robbie Amell. I think Robbie Amell is a very underappreciated, underrated actor. Robbie Amell, for those who don't remember him by name, he played Firestorm in the Arrows, Flash, the Arrowverse. Let's say the Arrowverse, and he's the cousin of the Arrow. You know, he's the real life cousin of Arrow. He's Stephen Amell's cousin. I think, yes, they're cousins, and they also played a movie together on Netflix, which you should watch. I forgot what it's called, but it's a movie on Netflix that stars Robbie and Stephen Amell. Really good movie. But he played Chris. Acting wise, he wasn't bad. Just, you didn't really care. You didn't feel like he was anyone special in the movie. And honestly, you kind of get that feeling when it comes to all the characters. None of the characters feel unique or special. They just seem like they're just people who are in this town of Raccoon City, and things are happening, and they're just reacting to the things that are happening within Raccoon City. They don't seem like they're unique or special, or, you know, who should or can stand out. And that might sound like a negative, but that's what I mentioned in my video before about when it comes to Jade. Jade seems like she's too special. You know, she's a genius. She's badass in combat. She knows all these things. She seems so special. Alice seemed so special. When it comes to these characters in this movie, they're very much like the game characters, because the game characters don't seem unique. They don't seem special. There's nothing unique and special about Leon and Chris and Claire, or even Sheva or Helena or Sherry and Ashley and Jake. Well, Jake, he's special because he's Wesker's son, and you know, he might have some kind of like powers from that. But like, they all don't seem special. And I love how Ada won, because Ada 1 does kind of seem like she's special, where there's more to her than meets the eye. So this movie does a good job at showing you these people are just humans. Like, they're not anyone special within the universe. They don't have powers and like that. They're just human beings who got swept up into this drama that exists just via them being present in Raccoon City and them having, you know, at least borderline intelligence to get out and work together. So what about Hannah John Kamen, who plays Jill Valentine? For those who don't know, my favorite video game characters, my favorite Resident Evil characters are Claire and Jill equally, like my 1A, 1B. And, you know, I love them a lot. Follow me on Twitch, when it's watch below. I have Jill emotes when it comes to like my Twitch stream. I love Jill Valentine. And when it comes to Hannah John Kamen playing Jill, Hannah John Kamen is a good actress. Like, her character stood out in this movie, like not in a sense of being special, but like you kind of gravitated towards her. I had this discussion before on my Twitch stream with one of my mods named Popcorn Man, and I talk about how there's sometimes you watch a movie or a TV show and the appearance of someone on the screen draws you towards them, and it could be a guy or girl. It doesn't really matter about the gender, but the person, just something about them, their screen presence draws you towards them and their character. Hannah John Kamen is that person in this movie. You're drawn to Jill Valentine in this movie, and she doesn't really seem like Jill. Like, again, if you didn't know that she was playing Jill, you would just think that she was some, you know, kind of more advanced badass cop, because they kind of do point that she's a badass just via her introduction. Is her and Weskers and Vickers and what's his face, they're all like at a diner. And then Leon's taking a nap at the diner's little, you know, what's the little spot called? But at the front little bar part of the diner. And then the Weskers is like, hey, I'll pay you 20, I bet you $20 you can't, you know, shoot a ketchup bottle off Leon's head. And, you know, which is basically just him hint to you like, hey, Jill's known to be a very good shot, etc., etc., etc. She's a badass. So they have that scene that kind of like just lets you know that that she's a badass. But other than that, she just seems once more like just a cop in the city, and not like someone who's part of some kind of special tactics unit, aka stars. But she's well acted. Hannah did a great job at acting as her. No complaints when it comes to it. I love Jill. I would rather see Jill be a main character in her own movie or TV series, but that's just me being a Jill fanboy. So when it comes to Ivan Jogia, apologize if you ever see this video and I pronounced your name wrong. Deeply sorry if I did it right. Thanks. I take all the applause on being able to pronounce your name right. If I didn't, punch me in the face. Who gives a shit? Anyways, Leon Kennedy. I've seen a lot of people complain about Leon Kennedy for two reasons. One, some people complain because he's race swapped. They have Ivan Jogia play him instead of a white guy. I don't think you have to have, you know, people of any color for fictional, you know, series. Even Jill, who's white in the games, is played by a black chick. You might even notice that Hannah John Kamen is black because she's, you know, very light skinned, but she is. And Ivan Jogia, you know, I think he's Southeast Asian. Yeah, I think Ivan Jogia is Southeast Asian. I think he's like, you know, nationality wise, I think he's Canadian, but I think ethnicity wise, he's like British Indian or Indian. But so they have someone who's not white playing Leon, so people got mad at that, as people usually always do get pissed off whenever you swap a white character for someone who's not white. Whatever, who cares? Are you a good actor? Do you play the character well? Do I buy into your character? That's all I care about. I don't care what race you are. So the other reason people complain about Leon was the way he kind of was portrayed by Ivan Jogia in the script was kind of as if Leon was an idiot. I seen like a lot of people saying like, Leon just seems dumb and inept. I actually bought into Leon more with this portrayal than I do in the games. I don't like Leon Kennedy in the games. I don't. Like, I know he's a lot of people's favorite character. He's not anywhere near being a character I like in Resident Evil. I'll take any character in Resident Evil's video games over Leon Kennedy. I don't give a shit about Leon. I put a tweet out there. It's like, Ivan Jogia somehow, someway made me care about Leon Kennedy. And the reason why is how he was scripted. Again, remember I said that no one feels special or unique in the story, but they all feel human. You know, because I feel like that's kind of what the idea is when it comes to movies. They try to humanize characters. They don't just exist. They're humans. They go through human things. Leon Kennedy, during this game, and as well as in this movie, and the lore is described as being a rookie. He's called the Rookie. So I feel like when it came to the writers, they wanted to write down, how can we show the audience, the casual audience, not the gamers, the casual audience who sees this movie, that Leon Kennedy is a rookie. So they had him be someone who, you know, he only got to where he was because of his nepotism. His dad was a high-ranking officer within the police force. Leon struggled in the police academy, so his dad, being his dad, was able to get Leon, you know, even though he was struggling in the police academy, to graduate the police academy. They have him being described as, you know, a rookie. You know, he's making mistakes. He doesn't know how to properly handle situations. You know, he's kind of a klutz. He does a lot of things in a way to show you, the audience, that he's a rookie. And when you see Leon Kennedy and say like Resident Evil 4, he's no longer a rookie. So he's this experienced combat, you know, fighter. He's experienced when it comes to situations and handling weapons. Basically, I'm trying to convey that the game's showing you, you know, Leon, at least in Resident Evil 4, as being someone who's, you know, not a rookie, versus this movie trying to show you Leon as a rookie, and they want you to be able to see that he's a rookie via how he's acted. I think Ivan Jogia does a great job at showing you what the director and what the writers wanted you to see from this attempt at showing the audience, you know, visually, he's a rookie. So what about Tom, it's a Hopper or Hooper? I think it's Hopper. He played Albert Wesker, and I think he was okay. I feel like he was definitely forgettable. Yeah, this is definitely not a great showing of Wesker. He's just kind of like, I feel like you could have had anyone like play that character, and it would just be the exact same outcome. Like, it didn't have to be someone named Wesker. It could just been anyone. It could have been some random person who they made up for this movie, and it would have been played the exact same way, and it had the exact same outcome and the exact same presence and the exact same impact on me as a viewer. So forgettable. And then you had Neil McDonough play Birkin. Berkey. Those watch my Twitch streams, you know, that's how I pronounce Birkin's name whenever I play Resident Evil 2. I just call him Berkey because to me it's hilarious. I call everyone, I call every villain in Resident Evil by nickname. I call Mr. X Mr. Dickhead. I call Nemesis Nim Nim, and I call Birkin's Berkey. It's just how I am. I'm weird. Leave me alone. But Neil, he's I'm used to his character and his way of acting because he, much like Robbie Amell, has also played in the Arrowverse. He played Damien Dark in the Arrowverse, so I'm used to Neil as an act for his acting, and he does a good job at being this, you know, being Birkin, but also where he excels at is when Birkin is becoming, you know, a monster. Like when it comes to him being a doctor and a family man, he's just, you know, there, you know, forgettable, to be honest with you. But when he takes the virus to like try to heal from spoilers, gunshot wounds, and transforms, that's when I start to see that same Neil that I see in Arrowverse as Damien Dark, that kind of sadistic, twisted, evil person that he is in Arrowverse as Damien Dark. I see it here too when he's playing, you know, this monstrous version of Berkey. He does a good job. So that's what I think of, like just a summarization of the acting for the movie. And I just think the movie as a whole is just forgettable because I know the story. I don't care. I felt like it was all boring, and I was like, I know how this all plays out. I'm not interested. Like, I'm just not. And this is the issue that I have with copying the story of a video game to a movie or a TV show, is that I won't care. I won't care about what you're telling me because I already know the information. You know, like imagine when it comes to, let's say they did a House of M movie for the MCU. I've read the House of M comic book. It's behind me. It's over there. I'm not gonna go grab it. It's over there. But let's just say that they did a comic movie of House of M. I've already read it. Why would I go watch the movie? Let's say they do a, like, copy and paste it from the comic book, every word. Why would I want to watch it? If I already know how everything works, I can't be surprised. I can't be put on the edge of my seat. I can't be amazed. Nothing's going to happen because for me as a viewer, because I already know how this plays out. And when it came to this movie, I wasn't really interested. I was kind of bored because I knew how the story plays out. I was not engaged, and that's because I played the games. Now, if you didn't play the games, you watch it, you're gonna have a different perspective. But for me, this is a good example of why you shouldn't copy the lore and story from video game and put it to movie. You should take I want movies and video games, but I want them to do their own thing. Have creative freedom and give me something that I didn't see playing the games. That's why I want the Halo series to be as it was. That's why I was okay with the Netflix series, because it's not the same thing. Even when it comes to animations, when it comes to, there's an animated movie on Netflix from Resident Evil, I like it because it doesn't tell me the same things that I already know. I can enjoy something different from what's there. Well, like Kingsglaive for Final Fantasy, it's not a Final Fantasy video game. It tells a story from Final Fantasy, but it's not the game. It's just an extra piece. It's an arm of the game. You know, you have the full body work of Final Fantasy 15, and Kingsglaive is just an arm of it. I like that. So when it comes to this, if I had to give it a score, it's like a 5. If I'm being nice, a 4 if I'm being like realistic. Like it's just there. I'll never watch it again. The actors are the ones who hold it up for the most part. You know, even I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Her name's Kaya, or Kaya. Maybe Kaya's probably like the way I should pronounce it. But she played Claire Redfield again. Claire Jill, my 1A 1B, and she was good. You know, again, for the most part, there's no complaints when it comes to acting. You know, even I'll honestly say Claire kind of feels more like the main character of the movie. You know, like when you play the games, it's Claire and Leon. In this movie, Claire and Leon do feel like the actual main characters, so they do capture that very well. Yeah, Kaya, I mean, she does a great job. You know, the acting, like I said, was good, and that's what mostly holds it up. What holds it up is the acting. What holds it up is the special effects. A given, it's Constantine Films who did the Netflix show and the original 6 films, so they have experience with Resident Evil in this kind of limelight of entertainment, so they know what they're doing when it comes to, you know, special effects and CGI, things of that nature when it comes to Resident Evil, so they have experience with that. But the movie itself is just an okay watch at best, you know, a one-time watch at worst, with solid acting, good lore, if you want to base it off the lore of the games, like if I was the games pretty well. But other than that, it just exists. But with all that said, is this me? I'm gonna go ahead and just chill. My AC's busted. You know, we're gonna get that fixed hopefully tomorrow. It's hot as fuck, so I'm gonna go chill, play some Mass Effect, and you know, enjoy the rest of my weekend. Y'all be safe. You got some of the B-Boy Noobs. Y'all have a good weekend. I'm out of here. Deuces.